Welcome to Haynes for Heroes. I'm Alex Haynes, and if you're new to the superhero genre, don't worry, I got your cape. And the Ironheart series has come and gone. It was the fastest 2 weeks of my life. I really enjoyed this show. Ironheart was so much fun. Honestly, I know I'm definitely in the minority here. It's one of my top 3 MCU series that I like. I just really enjoyed it. It had me hooked. I just wish it went on longer. Maybe they broke it up week by week, but it is what it is. So what I like to do at the end of every series or movie is I like to have a tier list. I like to rank all the characters in the series, who's the worst, who's the best. And that's what we're going to do here. So let me just pull this up right now. Okay. So if you take a look here, I got my tier list. So first off, we have the D tier. Now, D tier, these are for characters I do not like. Every time they show up on screen, I am offended. They make me angry. If I saw them in real life on the street, I would ignore them because I don't like them. That's how I treat these D tier characters. That's where they go. C tier, these are characters that they don't do anything for me. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, they don't make me angry. They don't hurt the series in any way. They're present. They exist. They don't bug me. They're not doing anything wrong. They're just there. B tier. These are the characters that I like. I like these characters. I want to see more of them. Either we don't get a lot of them, or the show doesn't dive too much into their characters, but they are likable enough for me to notice them and want more from them. So that's where the B tier goes. That's a good spot to be. A tier. These characters are characters that I thoroughly enjoy. They make me feel some type of way in one direction or another. Whether I could really love them, I could really hate the character, but it just depends on how they work within the story. And usually the A characters, these are the cream of the crops. The best heroes and villains go here. And then finally, God tier. God tier. These are characters that are just, they just touch my soul. They really get me. I feel it. I love them, and I can't. You know what I'm saying? I just feel so emotional about them, and it's great. That's for God tier. These are for the God tier characters. Now, I am not judging any of these characters by the performers they play off, because these are real life people just playing as characters. So if I take a character and I put him in D tier, if you're the performer, the actor, actress, playing that character, just know it is not you, it is the character. All the critiques are for the character. And I think we're just going to get started. Ready. I'm ready to go. You're ready to go. Here, let's start off with Landon. Now, I don't know if y'all remember Landon. Is that little boy that shows up every once in a while. He likes to talk mess about Riri. And honestly, my thing with Landon here, I'm pretty sure I'm saying his name right. Landon, he's a humbler. He takes characters that are, feeling themselves, and like Riri, she's really feeling herself in the beginning of the series, and he just knocks her down a peg. And he does that to everyone, I'm assuming. That just seems to be his natural default. But I found him quite hilarious. But let me know, before I show you what I think, how would you rank Landon? Where would you put him on this tier list? Oh, we can't see Landon. Why can't we see Landon? There he is. How would you rank Landon? God tier, A tier, B tier, C tier, or even D tier? Maybe you don't like kids. Maybe you're like, that's a child. No, D tier. No. That'd be kind of funny, though. But it's okay. Everyone is allowed to have their opinion. All right. So here is where I'm going to put Landon. I put him in B tier. I liked him. I thought he was funny. He made me laugh. He keeps the other characters honest. I really appreciate Landon. He was fun. And another character I would like to see more of. Maybe he becomes a Ironheart's sidekick in the next season. Just as long as she keeps him away from all the demon magic. We don't, that wouldn't be a good influence on him. All right. Let's get into the next character now. Shall we? I think her name's Madeline Stanton. Miss Stanton, the magic woman. What do we think of Miss Stanton, everybody? Madeline Stanton, the magic woman. So for me, I wanted to like her, but what really just kind of, one, you don't see much of her. She's like there for one scene, and then she's gone until what episode was it? Episode 4, and she's there for a few minutes, and then you never see her again. She's gone again. So there's that. But also, I personally didn't like how she just kicked Riri and her mom out of the shop when Riri tried bringing in the piece of the hood. And it's like, yes, I get it. It's demonic, it's evil, it's real dangerous magic. I get that. You want to keep yourself and your daughter safe. I totally get that. But like, that's your best friend and her daughter. They're clearly in some kind of trouble. You're just gonna shush them out the door? Like, me personally, I thought that was messed up. But before I put down my ranking, put them on the list, you let me know in the chat, or if you're watching the replay of this, put it down in the comments. Where would you put Miss Stanton? Where would you put her? Because, I don't know. Not the worst character, obviously. I'm not totally mad at her, but for me, I'm just like, you can go in C tier. She'll be right there. She'll fit in that little spot. That's where I'm just going to put her. Just her pushing Riri and her mom out the store. that rubbed me the wrong way. I was like, hey, your friend needs help. Help him out. Like, give him something. Like, anything other than just, oh, that's dangerous magic. Get out. That's not very helpful. So, C tier she goes. All right, next up, we got Xavier. Xavier. What do we think about Xavier? Let me know. Let me know. Where would you rank this character? Where would you put Xavier on the tier list? The music guy, Star Trek fan. I do appreciate that. I was surprised by the amount of Star Trek references we got here. I was like, that's a random thing to pull. I didn't think a Disney thing would be allowed to talk about Star Trek, because that's not Disney. Isn't that Universal? Isn't that Universal? So I was surprised by the references, but I guess, you know, they can do it. What did you think? Where would you put Xavier? So for me, Xavier was just another character. Like, for one, I like Xavier. When he showed up, then the few times that he did, he's a sweet guy. You know, he's very nice. He obviously cares about Riri. He's a good person. But in the grand scheme of the show, if he wasn't in it, I wouldn't even notice. Like, I don't think, this is at least, I can't think of any moment where I was just like, man, Xavier was crucial to this episode. He's just kind of there. And he has this romance potential love. He's a love interest for Riri. And I don't feel that. I don't think they have that chemistry. Like, I know they're playing it as awkward, like, you know, they don't want to say their feelings to each other, but it's just too much. I don't get them. I don't get them together. I don't think it works. I don't think he works in this series. Now, I do like him. Good guy for sure, but he don't do it for me. So also C tier. He exists. He's there. Does he need to be there? Not really, but what can you do? What can you do? Next up, we are going to do Riri's stepdad. I forgot his name. I think it was Gregory. Gregory or Gary? This is one of those. But I am personally, first of all, what do y'all think? Where would y'all rank Riri's stepdad? I know he's dead in the series. Like, he, you know, you just see like some flashbacks of him, and they talk about him a lot. But my opinion, I still feel like even though you don't see him, his impact on the series is throughout. You know, like he has a major influence on the series and all the decisions that Riri makes. So I think he is important enough to even bring on this tier list. But where would y'all put him? God tier, A tier, B tier, C tier, or D tier? Maybe he made you angry. You're like, I didn't like how he is a mechanic. I don't know. I don't know how you would not like her stepdad. He seemed like a great dude. Hydration is key because it is hot where I'm living and the insulation in my place is severely lacking. So a lot of water. Okay. So stepdad, Gregory. I think it's Gregory. I'm going to say Gregory. Let me know in the chat or the comments if I'm wrong. Someone please help me. Stepdad. But I'm a sucker for great parents. And just all the flashbacks we've seen of him, we're so happy. And honestly, that one scene, the one flashback that Natalie showed the hologram of, where he's like singing and dancing with Riri when she was a little girl, like that got me. That got the waterworks going, and that warmed my heart. I really liked him, and I was just like, if only we got more flashbacks of him, just because like that was adorable. He seemed like a great dude. Every time he showed up, it made me sad. I'm like, man, we only see like glimpses of him, and I miss him as if he was like a common character that we see throughout. So with that said, I'm gonna put him in A tier. And if anyone can help me in the chat, please, once again, is it Gregory or Gary? I'm like, I'm really self-conscious about it because I was studying it earlier. I was like, remember, his name is this. And I don't remember. But this is who we got so far. 1 A tier, 1 B tier, 2 C's, no D's. No D's. Just a heads up, when it comes to superhero stuff, I'm pretty lenient. Has there been some D tier characters before on my list? Absolutely. But you know, I don't like to judge. I'm not the Simon Cowell of superhero tier list. I'm like who's the nice judge in American Idol? Was it Randy Jackson? Randy Jackson, who's the nice one? Anyway, I digress. Here we go. Ronnie. I do know her name. Mama. This is Riri's mom, Ronnie. And once again, I'm a sucker for a great parent. She's so very loving and just wanting to look out for her daughter. And it hurt me to see Ronnie suffer because she's just watching her daughter suffer and she doesn't know what to do because, you know, Riri's struggling. She just keeps pushing Ronnie away. And that made me sad. I love the mom. But before I put her on the tier list, what do y'all think of Ronnie as a character? Usually, I get a little annoyed by some parents in superhero movies, but she was not the case. She was very supportive. I always love it when the parents know their child is a superhero. It's less stressful, and it's cool to see the parent be like, well, this is what my daughter's doing, so I'm going to at least try to help in some way that I can. So I really like Ronnie, but where would you put her on the tier list? Let me know in the chat. If you're watching the replay, comment on that. And while you're chatting, someone brought up a good point. Mephisto has finally arrived and waiting for the new Ghost Rider. Yeah. Spoiler alert if you haven't watched Ironheart already. Sorry. But absolutely. I am so excited. Let's go on a tangent real quick. So excited for Mephisto. We'll get to him later on this list, but wow. Just wow. Finally. Lightweight, a part of me is going to miss all the gaslighting us MCU fans have been doing to ourselves. Like, oh, Mephisto's going to be in WandaVision. No, he's going to be in Spider-Man No Way Home. No, he's going to be in Agatha All Along. That was a fun period of time where, you know, we're just desperate for like Mephisto to show up. And so now that he's here, now he's officially in the MCU, it's like, oh, I'm gonna miss it. I'm gonna miss those days. Those were fun times. Those were really fun times. Sin is here. What's up, Sin? Just doing an Ironheart tier list. Thanks for stopping by. And then Counselor, still waiting on Nightmare. That will be the next one. I can't wait for Nightmare. Nightmare is going to be so cool. I wanted him to be in Multiverse of Madness, but I have thoughts on that. But let's get back to the task at hand. So Ronnie, here is where I put her on my tier list. A tier. A tier. Yeah, just like you. I just, once again, I'm a sucker for happy, loving parents. And this mother is so supportive and she deserves so much love. And like all the times where Riri's pushing her away, I just want to give her a hug. Like, no, you're okay. You're doing the best you can. Your child's going through a lot. We'll get to Riri later, but wow. Yeah. So A tier. I'm liking it. Okay. Here we go. Stuart. Let's be honest. What do we think of Stuart? I forgot Eric Andre was going to be in this series. I totally forgot. Oh, Stuart. Oh, Stuart. What do y'all think of Stuart? Let's hear what y'all think of Stuart. Sin says S tier. S tier for Stuart. I respect it. Hey, if you honestly put him in S tier, or in this case God tier, I respect it. I respect it because, see, Stuart is a character that I would have liked to have had more of in the series. We just get him that one beginning scene in the first episode, and then he gets fired, and then we hear later that he was killed, which was jacked up. I would have liked him. I wanted to like him more. We just get so little of him. And let's see, where did I honestly forgot where I put him. Okay, yeah. I put him in C tier just because I wanted to like him. It's just he was there and then he was gone and then that was the end. I can make an argument, maybe move him up to B tier later. Now that I see it, now I'm looking at him like, maybe I'm regretting that. I rarely regret where I put characters on tier lists, but now I'm talking it out with y'all. I'm like, okay, he is memorable. We got here brief but memorable. Yeah, that's fair. He is brief but memorable. Audible. I can't do it right now, but just let's put him up to B tier. He was memorable. He did make me laugh. I liked that he was the tech guy that just messed up. He's a good tech guy, but he wasn't the best. Not good enough for heist. I have a soft spot for Eric Bison. Yeah. He has sweetheart potential. I will say that. Uh-oh. My screen went black. There we go. He did feel like a fun sidekick. Yeah, he did. I think if the show like gave him more scenes, he definitely would have been up. But just for the little bit that he was in, it was just like a little sample. Not enough for me to really have an opinion. All right. Let's get on to the next one. Cousin John. Oh, I wasn't ready to do Cousin John yet, but all right. Cousin John. What do y'all think of Cousin John? Where are y'all putting him on this tier list? God tier, A tier, B tier, C tier, or G tier? Maybe y'all just hate Cousin John. It's John, right? Yeah. Yeah, his name is John. I'm not messing up too many names. What do we think of John? John is definitely a crash out character. He, well, I'm going to see what y'all think. Sin says C tier. Okay. C tier. C tier for John. What else we got? Anyone else want to put in? If you're in the chat or if you're watching the replay, put in the comments where you put John. Cousin John. Now, for me, Cousin John. I know that's not his name, but that's just what I'm calling him. Cousin John. Cousin John he's one of those characters that is just, what's a good phrase? I don't know. He was like just a bomb. You don't know when he's going to blow up. like, and as much as it sounds toxic, I'm a sucker for drama, and Cousin John was drama galore because in one moment he was chill, he was cool, very loving and supportive of the hood of his cousin. He looks after his cousin. It's very very tender, very sensitive, very delicate. But then in the next scene, he's banging someone's face on the table, you know, trying to threaten, trying to stab Riri to death. The dude was all over the place, and that was exciting for me. It was enjoyable. And when he died, as you know, I felt some type of way about it. Did he deserve? I won't say he deserved to die. I'm just saying, it made sense. The dude was a problem, but I really enjoyed him. I thought he was a lot of fun. He added a lot of tension to this series. So I put him in A tier. I I understand, people's opinion on him might be like, nah, he was a jerk, C tier. He slammed Clown's face into the desk. That wasn't cool. That was not cool. But, I'm not for toxic people, but I'm for toxic television characters sometimes. It was just so entertaining. So I put him in A tier. All right, next up, we got the blood siblings. Now, I didn't want to break them up because they're I don't think they're twins, but they're siblings, and you got to put the siblings together. And so for me, they're one character. But what do y'all think? Where are we putting the blood sibs? The blood siblings. Fun fact, as much as I love superhero stuff and comic books, there's still so much I'm learning. And apparently most of these characters that are in the heist are actual characters in the comics. So the blood siblings are in the comics called the Blood Brothers, and they're goblin troll people. There's some kind of alien troll goblin things that beat people up. So I thought that was fun. I was like, maybe at some point the blood siblings, because Ironheart deals with a lot of magic, maybe in season 2 they get cursed and turn into goblins. But anyway, tangent. What do y'all think? What do y'all think of the blood siblings? Give y'all a second. Think about it. Put it in your heads. Are these cool characters? Are they bad characters? Other characters that you don't really get much of in terms of screen time. Oh, you get some screen time of them, but other than you don't really know much of their backstory other than where the hood found them. Me personally, I enjoyed them. I thought they were cool. Hey, what do y'all contribute to the heist? Oh, we beat people up. You got a hacker, you got the planner, you got the weapons expert, you got the demolition. We just throw hands. And every time they had a fight scene, it was really cool. I like seeing people throwing hands. That's honestly my favorite superpower. Hey, what can you do in the superhero universe? I beat you up. That's my thing. That's my superpower. But like I said earlier, we don't get much of them, but we get enough for I enjoy them. I think they're cool. I would like to see more of them. Maybe we can get them to mutate into goblin, troll, alien things in the future. And they don't even have to do that permanently. That's just something they can transform into. But it was cool. It was cool. I'll put them in B tier. I really liked them. And maybe if they get a transformation next season, they'll bump up to A tier because I'm a sucker for people with hands. And then next up, we got Slug. Slug is another character from the comics who there is a character called Slug in the comics, but in the comics, Slug is like a drug lord or something like that. It's crazy. But Slug, we have Slug here. Is the hacker. What do we think of Slug? Where are you putting them on the tier list? Oh my God, water is so delicious. Is this a Stanley? I don't know what people kept telling me it's a Stanley, but whatever kind of mug this is, or cup, bottle thing. It's good, and I love it. All right. So first, dang it, spoiled it. My bad. Well, so anyway, I liked Slug. I thought Slug was cool. Another character you don't get much of in terms of backstory, but Slug was very fun for me. I really liked the scene where Riri flipped the truck and Slug came out of the truck. It was just like, nope, I'm done, and just walked off. That moment really sold Slug to me. But honestly, my favorite thing, and this is just like an ASMR thing, you see how Slug has the really long nails? Well, anytime Slug was typing, pitter-pattering on the keyboard, you ever hear people with long nails typing on a keyboard? I don't know why, but that was so satisfying to me. And I was just like, just that long scene of Slug just, and I was just like, yes, yes, please. I love that clicking, clacking. Here we go. So B tier. Sorry. I like Slug. Another character I would want to see more of, more backstory of. But it's hard because a lot of these characters, see, the issue is there's a lot of characters on here that are really cool, that have cool aspects about them. But the series is only 6 episodes long, and there's only so much character growth and development and backstory they can give on all of them. Like if this series was like 10 episodes, absolutely probably dive more into their backstory and these grades can go up or down. But just on what we are getting on 6 episodes, which is kind of a ripoff, honestly, but whatever. So that's where we're at. Here's where we're at so far on the tier list. Let me make it bigger for y'all. And then, ooh, Kevin Davis. What's up, Kevin? What we got? Dominique Thorne gave a good performance. Ironheart's a good show. Grade B+, 85%. That's a solid grade. I wouldn't argue with that. I would say about B+. Maybe me personally, I was like kind of obsessed with it. I would give it like maybe an A-. But that, I feel like that's a fair grade, Kevin. I won't argue with that. All right. So we got Slug. Next up, we have Clown. Now, Clown, unlike the other members of the Hood's gang, Clown has the most like depth, I would say. Because yeah, one, she's cray-cray. She's a demolitions person. They got to be crazy to deal with explosives. And you know, I'm a simple man. Explosions are fun. And if you're a character that makes explosions, you're already in my good graces. But what do y'all think? What do y'all think of Clown? I don't know if Clown is Clown in the comic books. Anyone know this? Quick Google search. But what do y'all think? Where would you put Clown on the tier list? Oh, and my cat is trying to ask for attention. I am in the middle of something, Miss Ma'am. Miss Ma'am. So if you hear purring, that's her, or meowing. It's not even close to dinner time, so you're tripping. All right, so Clown. Like I said, I really liked Clown. She has a lot more depth than the other gang members in the Hood's gang, like the demolitions. But I just really love how also she's not just strictly evil. You know, she has her code of honor. She has her morals. Like I really appreciated how she was the first to like step up to Cousin John in the Hood. I liked how she like spoke up for Zeke. You know, like, you know, even though she knows Zeke was totally lying about killing Riri, she was just like, oh yeah, no, he definitely did that. He definitely killed her. Yeah. Like she's a genuinely good person. Like this is like one of those characters that are like really complex because like, yes, she's a villain. She does bad things, but you know, there's a heart of gold in there somewhere. There's a heart of gold, and we love characters with hearts of gold. So I put her in A tier. I think she belongs there. I really liked her. She was great. One more sip of water. Jeez, I'm sorry. I'm going to be so hydrated after this. But I appreciate y'all. People are hanging out, watching this on the replay. Appreciate y'all being here. Let's keep it going. Next up, we got Zelma Stanton. Now, what do y'all think of Zelma Stanton? Where are you putting her in the tier list? And if you're watching the replay, go ahead and put it in the comments. Uh-oh. Sorry, my cat. She's thinking of doing something rambunctious. I'm in the middle of something. Stop. Okay. So Zelma surprised me because I thought excuse you. Sorry, my cat's walking on my laptop. Zelma, I thought, was just going to be a C character. You know, she doesn't show up until episode 4. And then she just, you know, and then all of a sudden she's a prominent part of the series. So I thought I was going to be annoyed by her because, you know, unless you're introduced in the beginning, like, I don't want to know you. But she came in episode 4 and she was given main character energy. I was like, okay, I really like her. I also like how she's already like a little young sorceress. And, you know, she's real charismatic. I thought her magic was cool. I liked that she was actually willing to help Riri, like, figure out the hood. Like, I appreciated that. She's very helpful. And if I don't know if these rumors are true, but I think that introducing her into the series was their way of like teasing another TV series, I think Strange Academy, based off the comic book, and Zelma was going to be the main character. And if that's the case, I'm all for it. I really like Zelma, and I thought it was really cool how she blended magic with Riri's technology. Beautiful, awesome character. I've also put her in A tier. Let's keep this ball rolling. A tier, it's a good looking A tier section. It's a good amount. I really liked this series, in case you were wondering. All right, next up we got Zeke. Big money Zeke. What do we think of Zeke? Where is he going on the tier list? So Zeke. I've been mulling this over in my head for a while because, like, I like Zeke. I think he's a good guy. He has an interesting story. I think it's cool that he's the son of Obadiah Stane. I really love that references. I love it when series and movies like call back to other things. It's really cool for me. But I don't know. I felt Zeke was out of place in this series. Like, I wasn't as excited to see him whenever it went to him, you know, especially when he got the upgrade and became like a secondary antagonist. Like, I understand his character was important for the development of Riri, but he just felt out of place to me. Like, we're dealing with magic, the mysteries of this dark magic, the hood, and then all of a sudden she's fighting a tech villain. I understand he's actually a character in the comics. I think he's called Technovore or something like that. I could be wrong, but let me know in the comments in the chat if he's actually Technovore. I'm pretty sure he's a character. But in this series, it just felt like he was a distraction. And there was another character I didn't really need. I liked him. He was memorable enough, but so I thought C tier was too harsh because he wasn't nearly as, I didn't care. I cared more for him than I did these 3 characters in C tier currently. But otherwise, Zeke, you know, wasn't that important to me. Wasn't that great. I'll keep it in B tier. Natalie, though. AI Natalie. What do we think, chat? Put it in the comments if you're watching on a replay. Where are you putting Natalie on this tier list? Water break. So, I'm not going to lie to you. Natalie was lightweight my favorite character in this series. I really enjoyed her. My gosh, it was just such a positive ray of sunshine. It just made me happy every time she was on screen. She was so funny. She was intelligent because, you know, she's an AI. Of course, she has to be intelligent. She was just such a fun character, and it made me so sad at the end when she got destroyed by the magic. That legit broke my heart. And I just couldn't get enough. Every time I was like, as long as Natalie is somewhere on the scene, it's going to be a great time. I loved Natalie. Like, so yeah, welcome, Natalie. You are the first in God tier on this list. Woo, woo. We got one God tier. Hold on. My cat is freaking out. What? She wants to go outside. Sorry. There we go. Okay. I have a little catio for my cat. I'm not just letting her outside. The vet bills are too expensive. Yeah, so where were we? Natalie is our first God tier character. Hooray for her. We love Natalie here. All right, you ready? Y'all ready for what's next? What's to come here? We have Parker Robbins, aka The Hood. What do we think of Parker Robbins? Where are you putting him on the tier list? God tier, A tier, B tier, C tier, or D tier? Maybe I should relabel these tiers to more superhero friendly list, but so my biggest thing that always makes me happy in superhero adaptations is when they just take something from the comics and put it on the screen, like frame for frame. Now, Parker Robbins isn't in this series isn't exactly perfect to the Hood in the comics, but still, for the most part, it was really spot on. He had the hood, he had to hold his breath to be invisible, he had the magic guns. The only thing he was missing was the levitating boots, but you know, that's just a nitpick. He was so cool to me. He was so cool. It was just maybe I'm also a fan of Anthony Ramos, but the guy, I especially loved the Hood. This, honestly, if I can be real, one of my new favorite villains in the MCU. I just thought he was so cool. He's not insanely overpowered or nothing. He's just a guy trying to scrape by with what he has, and is just like, in a lot of ways you respect him too. He's one of those villains that, you know, you empathize with a bit. You understand him. You don't agree with what he's doing, but you understand. And to me, he was just so cool, and I can't wait to see more of him. I already know that he's going to come back at some point. I'm so glad they didn't kill him off, because that means we're going to get more of him. That's another thing about superhero movies that they do. They kill off so many villains and they don't become reoccurring threats. But the Hood is coming back, and that's going to be so exciting. So for Parker Robbins, the Hood, one of my favorite heroes in the MCU, villains in the MCU now, not heroes, villains, putting him in God tier. Let's go. That's God tier. And we have a special visitor. Z, what's up? The legend is live. What's up, bro? What's up? How are you doing? Thank you for stopping by. I really appreciate this. The legend is live. I appreciate those kinds words. It's good seeing you. How are you doing? How's life? I saw that you were on the, convert the panel, and I gotta get on that. I gotta get on that and see how you do in that debate. But it's good seeing you. Thank you for stopping by. All right. Let's get back into it. So we got God tier, and spoiler alert for this next character. If you haven't seen the series, I'm sorry. It's already been spoiled for you, but we're going to go into it. Mephisto. We are, first off, Mephisto's in the MCU officially. I mean, technically, they just talked about him in Agatha all along, so at that point, he was technically put in the MCU. But now we see him. We have a name. We have a face to a name. He's in. So excited. Where are you putting him on this tier list? Where are you putting Mephisto? God tier, A tier, B tier, beer tier, not beer tier, B tier, C tier, D tier. And while y'all thinking about that, let me talk to Z again. What's up, Z? Doing good, Lan. I hope you are too. I am doing good. You know, just out here talking about superhero stuff, living the best life. Like, can't complain. Life has been crazy. Life has been crazy. It's been getting, man, this world today is in a troubling place. Like, overall, I'm happy with my life, but you know, where we're at in the world, I just want to channel my inner superhero to help make this place a better place. And you know, that's what we're trying to do here. With your passion for the show, it's definitely convinced me to see it. You should give it a shot. I believe, like, honestly, give it a shot. I had a great time with it. Honestly, it's only 6 episodes, which definitely deters it in a lot of areas because there's only so much you can do in 6 episodes. But it had me lightweight obsessed. Like after the first week, I was like, when are we gonna get more Ironheart? And especially after the season finale, I was just like, oh, when are we gonna get more Ironheart? Come on. I need a season 2. They can't just leave me off like how they did. But here we go. Mephisto. Once again, another character that they just seemingly took from the comics and put on the screen. He doesn't have the red skin. He does have the red skin. We saw it in his reflection on the spoon. That was an awesome touch. But I was so worried about this because, and I know I'm not really supposed to talk about the actors, but Sacha Baron Cohen, when he was casted as Mephisto, or rumored to be Mephisto, I know he's a great actor, but all I can think of in my head was Borat and Bruno. Sell your soul to me, which, would have been funny, but that's all I was picturing. I knew he wasn't going to play it like that at all. But there's still some worry there. But then once you actually see him as Mephisto, I was spellbound, which is like honestly what the Hood encounter, what Riri was feeling when talking to him. Like I was lightweight, like, oh, I know this is an evil entity that you should not trust. Like that is literally one of Mephisto's main superpowers is lies and manipulation. But I wanted to trust it. Like I was under his spell in his scene. Come on, like I had to rewatch that final scene with him and Riri like 10 times. It was so epic to me, so cool, and how this sets up for the future of the MCU. It was phenomenal. I wanted to cry. I almost cried just for just how perfect it was. So for me, I put Mephisto in God tier. He's in God tier. He's up there. And he's kind of a God thing, entity. He's a ruler of a hell-like dimension. And so, yeah, so he's going up there. And now, last but not least, we're here. First off, before we get into the final character, what do y'all think of this tier list so far? How would you reorganize it? Who would you put where? Let me know in the comments. If you're watching the replay, go ahead and put it in the comments. Let me know, chat. What do you think? And also, does anyone remember the name of Riri's stepdad? I'm pretty sure it's Gregory. Part of me is like Gary, but I loved his character too. But I studied it a lot beforehand. But as soon as I got to his character, I forgot his name. But I liked him. Okay, are we ready? Final character. You obviously know who it is. Riri Williams. What do y'all think of Riri? Where are you putting her on the tier list? God tier, A tier, B tier, C tier, or D tier? This might be spicy. I have a lot of thoughts about Riri Williams. Once again, as I mentioned about Cousin John, I really like drama. And Riri gave me a bunch of drama this series. Like, I did not know what to expect from her. I'm like, okay, struggling. She's making questionable decisions, joining up with the Hood and his heist gang. I get it though. It was a little wild, but I'm like, okay, a little spicy, but we're good. She's learning the error of her ways. Character development. There's so much as you can do in 6 episodes. But then you get to the season finale, and it's just like, oh no, we're still making awful decisions. And it is just like I didn't know. I didn't like her for that, but I also was so entertained. I'm like, oh my gosh, this girl, what are you doing? I didn't know what to think about Riri. By far the most entertaining character on this series, as she has to be. It's her show. I thought she was really cool. I think she's really cool. And I think, she's realistic in terms of like, she's a young woman with a chip on her shoulder. She has something to prove and no one's taking her seriously. And she's dealing with just all that trauma and grief. It's like, I get it. She is going to make a lot of questionable decisions. And I'm wanting them to make another season, and I want her to include her in more movies, because like that character arc is going to be legendary. We are going to see this character morph in so many different ways, and I'm so excited to see it. But just in this season alone, I just based on her decisions and like how she treated like her mom, who was a saint, and her friends, pushing everybody away, but also, just betraying Zeke, like all that was really messed up. She didn't intentionally betray Zeke, but just the carelessness behind it, it knocks her down a little bit. It makes me angry at her, but gosh darn, she was entertaining. And so, with that being said, Riri Williams, I put her in A tier. She didn't make me mad enough to drop down to B tier, just because, once again, it was exciting television watching her. She was incredible. She was incredible. But I just, as of right now, I didn't have the same love for her as these three, especially Natalie. Natalie is the GOAT, I would say, of the series. Natalie is the GOAT of the series. But Riri, I can definitely see her going into God tier in the future. Absolutely. Especially since she now, spoiler, sorry, she's working for Mephisto, not working for Mephisto, but she made a deal with Mephisto. So is she gonna become like a super villain at first? Like, is she gonna like be fighting Doctor Strange and all that at the behest of Mephisto just so she could keep Natalie alive, or whatever it is? Like, I don't know. There's just so many things she can go for, and she's gonna be. I think what I think is gonna happen. She's gonna be a super villain at first, and then she's just eventually gonna accept her grief, which is hard. It's hard for anybody, especially with how she like witnessed the death of her stepdad, and now like that. I don't care who you are, that will mess anybody up. But like, once she breaks through that villain era, or just making the era of making bad decisions, she's gonna be a legit iconic superhero. Mark my words here. Oh, we got a comment. Hi, Shay. She put us through the ringer. Great. Dominique Thorne, and I know I'm not attributing the performance of the actors in this, but Dominique Thorne killed it in this role. She was incredible. Like, I believed every word she said. Every word she said, I believed her. How every emotion she felt, like, it was real. She definitely put us through the ringer, though. As soon as she learns to accept support from her people, God tier. Yeah, exactly. It's like the finale. At the finale, if it stopped right when she's working together with her friends and family to make her Ironheart suit, just stopped, and for some messed up reason the series stopped there, I would probably put her in God tier. But as of right now, just, man, like, I get it. She's being manipulated by Mephisto, and if there's anyone that will convince anyone to sell their soul to them, it's Mephisto. That's his thing. But I'm excited for the character development. I'm excited for the growth. She has a lot of potential. She has God tier potential. Let's hope she gets there soon. But that is the end of the tier list. Are there any characters that I missed? Any characters that I should include on here? Pretty sure I missed someone. No, I think I got it all. What do you think of this tier list? How would you reorder it? If you're watching the replay, go ahead and put it in the comments. Where would you put who? Should I move Stewart up to B tier? I've been had a few people earlier in the live talk about that. They do. He is brief but memorable, and I feel like that's the only character where I'm like, I'll consider changing that. I think I will change that one. I think I would put Stewart here into B tier because we love Eric Andre. But more than that, it was just in that brief moment he was funny, and then his death in the series hurt me. And it lightweight made me not like the Hood for a hot second. It was like, why are you going to kill Eric Andre? Like, I understand if Cousin John did it. I'm pretty sure. Oh, excuse me. I'm pretty sure Cousin John did it. But if it was the Hood that killed Stewart, he won't go down from God tier, but he will have a little anger in my heart towards him. Oh, what did Shay say? What we got? I know Mephisto is a god, but I think he hasn't proved himself to me yet to be in God tier. That's fair. He only had a few minutes. He only had that scene, and I understand that. That is a fair argument. For me, it was just how on point he was to his comic book version, and just how captivating that one scene was. Like shoot. Like, I don't nearly have the same traumas or grief that Riri Williams had, but like, shoot, this hearing him talk, like, dude, I'm being convinced on making a deal with Mephisto. Like he had me spellbound to it. So like that's why I put him in God tier. What else? Love seeing Anthony Ramos go from Hamilton to a snobby to this. He's got a big career ahead. He absolutely does. That was my first. I'm pretty sure Anthony Ramos did other things before Hamilton, but that was my first, as far as I remember, introduction to Anthony Ramos, and loved him in Hamilton, and loved him in Washington Heights, or not Washington Heights, In the Heights. Loved him in that movie. I thought he was fantastic. Very different characters, though. Like, from Hamilton to snobby to now he is a demonic possessed gangster. Like, it's so different. He has range, and he's great. I can't wait to see more of him. But that is my tier list, ladies and gentlemen. Here we are, and I just want to say thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for your chats, your comments, for contributing. What did you think of the Ironheart series? Like, are you wanting to see more? Are you looking forward to season 2? There has to be a season 2. They can't just end the series like that and then never, like, that's my biggest concern. The MCU lately has been doing things where they set something up and then you don't hear about it again for years. Like, we had the Incredible Hulk movie set up the leader, and then we don't even see the leader until Captain America Brave New World. Or the Eternals set up, Tiamat frozen in the Atlantic Ocean, and then once again we don't hear nothing about it until Captain America Brave It takes years. So hopefully they continue on with this story, they build off of it and call back to it, because this was some good stuff. That's just my opinion. But once again, thank you so much for stopping by. Next week, yeah, wow, the Superman movie's coming out. Yes, I'm definitely seeing it. And after the Superman movie coming out, I will be dropping a short review, an ending explained breakdown, and then also we'll be doing another tier list for Superman. And just based on what I've seen in the trailers, there is going to be a ton of characters in it, so we're going to have a lot to work with. But if you enjoyed this live and you want to see more like it, please hit the like button and subscribe to Haynes for Heroes so you don't miss anything. Thank you all so much again for being here. I'll see you next time.